I don't forget.
Oh no, that's perfect. And then I'm going. That's always my fear is that I didn't press play.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, whoa. Okay. Test, test, test. Okay, yeah, I'm good on my end too.
Do you want to clap?
Okay. Yes, are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Good
There
job.
it is. Wait, something's. Hold on, give me 1 sec. My
Mhm.
audition looks. It's like recording, but it looks different than usual. Let me just listen back
Okay.
really quick. And it sounds like. Hmm. Hmm.
I feel like I hear something.
Oh, did it just stop?
I think.
Oh, because I had pressed play. I was listening back to me.
Got it.
You probably heard me echoing through the headphones.
Yeah, just a little.
I just realized the sound waves look different, but it sounded fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm recording with all the settings Josh wants me to record.
Um.
You know what? I think it's okay.
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 I don't know what it would be.
I don't know. I'm just gonna go with it because I do think it's fine.
Yeah.
It says I'm recording. It, oh, hold on. Is it? Yeah, it says I'm recording in wave, so I think. You know what? I think it's okay. Okay, let me continue. Test, test, test. Okay, that should be fine because
Okay.
I didn't delete the recording, so I think our clap's okay.
Okay.
Let me do another one just in case he
Yeah.
gets mad. Okay, I'll just tell him there's 2 claps. Okay,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay,
Sweet.
we're good.
Nice. Now, do I bring this one in?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe you do.
Okay.
Who
Sweet.
knows? I think. Yeah. It was you. It was
I'm
you.
pretty sure.
Yeah, because you did the Halloween one.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay. Well, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Okay, go for it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boozy Botanical Podcast. My name is Holly.
And I'm Angelique.
And we are back with another episode.
Hello. Happy Boozy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Boozy Tuesday. We are so excited. Angelique, how are you? And what are you drinking?
I'm well. Well, mentally, I'm well. Physically, I'm a little sick. I have a bit of like a sore throat and like sinus pressure and stuff, but it's all good. Still here drinking. I have a little Tito's and orange juice, just a little bit because I don't feel great.
Yeah.
But it was left over from our Halloween party, so I have like 1.75 liters or
Oh,
something. Like
that's so almost very exact.
very exact. I remember because I went to Ralph's and I was like, okay, we're trying to get rid of alcohol, not buy more. So I'm just gonna get a small bottle of Tito's. And the 1 liter bottle was $28. And then the $30 bottle was 1.75 liters, almost double. I think
Yeah,
they were
it's
just
the
trying to
same.
get rid of the big ones. Maybe so
So
they lowered
interesting.
the price. Yeah, I'm guessing they just like take up room or maybe they aren't as popular. But
Well,
now we have
your
a lot.
your cup and the drink is so on brand for you because it's in the morning in California.
Oh, yes! It's like I'm
Mimosa
having a little
vibes.
mimosa. Yeah. Yeah, guys, it's not even 10 yet.
Poor Angelique. I mean, it's early for me too. It's like, what is it? 12, almost like, well, it's like 10 till 1 over here.
Still,
But
it's still
still.
early.
Yeah. But
What
I'm the lame one today. I'm only drinking a liquid IV, which is not lame. I freaking love liquid IV. It's the watermelon. And I told you guys in another episode that I've been obsessed with these custom Starbucks cups from Etsy. So today we are sporting the
Ooh,
Rat's doll Starbucks cup.
that is really
Did you
cool.
ever play with rats?
I I didn't watch it a lot, but I know exactly what it is. Like with the Z at the end, right?
Yes, like, well, the
Yeah.
dolls. You know
Yes,
what
the
I mean?
Bratz dolls.
Yes.
Yes. Did you ever watch the movies?
No. I
Neither did
didn't.
I just remember the commercials growing up for the dolls
I know, like
on
this song,
Saturday morning cartoons.
"Hello, Barrettes."
Yes, yes. Did
Dude,
you ever have a Bratz doll?
yes, I had so many. I feel like I was, like, borderline
Aw.
too old because, like, I think I was probably, I don't know, maybe I was 10, but I loved them. I thought they were so pretty and, like,
Mhm.
so, like, fierce, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I wanna be a Bratz doll."
I think they're cool.
It's like
The
bad bitch energy, you
yeah,
know, the
oh,
Bratz dolls.
original bad bitches for sure. I was talking to Josh about Bratz recently. Something came up and I was like, "Oh, you mean like a Bratz doll?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And
What?
I think he did know what it was, but I forgot there was like we had this whole conversation on Bratz. By the way, for any of our listeners abroad, like in the UK or anything, let us know if Bratz were a thing because I
Yes.
wonder. They
It's
were
like
big in the US.
right, I feel like everybody knows Barbie, everyone knows, like, Beanie Baby, but, like, yeah, I'm very curious to know if other people had brats or, know.
Right. Was this even a thing? Oh,
Oh gosh, but
my
yeah,
goodness. Well, I'm glad to see you today, Holly.
I'm glad
You
to
and all
see
your bad
you.
bitch energy. How are you feeling? Are you feeling better from your sore throat?
I'm finally feeling better. I had, like, this cough that was just, like,
Oh,
lingering
right.
on for so long, and I was, like, talking to my mom, I'm like, "When is it gonna go away?" She's like, "Oh, it could last up to a month." I'm like, "Are
It
you kidding me?"
it
Like,
is true.
I know, and the crazy part is because I was still coughing so much, my throat was so dry. I was like, "Oh, hell no. I
Oh,
cannot get a sore
no.
throat again," but it was just, like, my throat was literally tired from
Like
coughing.
raw, yeah.
So, it's
Oh.
really funny. I went to Walmart with my mother-in-law, and we're in line, and I got this stuff that's, like, basically, like Mucinex, like the
Oh, yeah.
generic, and so she's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's, Mucinex." She's like, "Oh, I get it. You don't wanna shout, 'Mucinex!'" But dude,
Like,
I think it
"Thank
helps.
you." Oh, good. I remember those commercials too with the little, like,
The
booger
little
germ thing.
booger. Ugh,
Ugh, he was
so
not
gross,
attractive.
so gross.
Not the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, "Yep, I'm just me being my bad bitch self buying Mucinex."
You're like, "If I need it, I need it, guys. Leave me alone." You have
Whatever.
to own the Mucinex. There you go.
Exactly. I'm like, "I don't care." It's between that and buying tampons, like, whatever.
Girl, oh my god. This is so off topic. I was like, "Where do you get your tampons?" 'Cause didn't you used to get the one from Costco, but then you were over it? Is that
Dude,
what it was?
okay. Oh, okay, I know you, recommended the ones from Costco,
But you
and
don't like them, right?
I don't really like them. I feel like I'm just so bougie when it comes to my period because I need to
Fair
have
enough.
what is it? It's the Playtex?
Or is
Playtex?
it the Utex?
No, it's the purple one, and it's, like,
The pretty
the
ones?
pretty one, dude, I can't help it, and I like the ones that come, like, it's, like, half size, and you, like when you unwrap it, you pull it. 'Cause
Yeah,
it fits more in, like, your purse and, like, bags and stuff.
that's fair. Yep. Yeah, 'cause the one that I get is what is it called? Tampax or
I think it
something?
is Tampax,
Whatever that, like,
whatever.
brand is. You guys, people that have periods, at Costco, you can get 96 tampons for $12.
You know
It's
what? They
insane.
last me forever, and I'm like, "Oh, god dang it." I'm like, "Why is this lasting
I
me so
get
long?"
one once a year.
Well, I mean, that's the way to go, dude. Like, I pretty much every period, like, every month, I need to go buy tampons.
Get more, but I know the ones you're talking about because I like the Playtex ones. I
Mhm.
like the compactness because that's the thing with the Tampax ones, they're always, like, 6 inches, but, like, then there's the little applicator, like, you push the
Yeah,
thing through and it
yeah.
enters. So it's like,
Well, I like to have little pouches where I put, like, all my tampons in, like, to throw in my
"Oh,
bag.
yeah, it's
It's
cute."
way better with, like, the half sizes.
No, it's totally true. I wish they would just make that because I
Yeah.
feel like the Costco goers would love it, but we gotta take
Totally.
what we can get. That's the one thing with Costco. I love Costco. I'm a big advocate for Costco,
Same.
but the thing is with Costco though is that you usually only get one brand of things.
I
Like,
know, right?
I can't go and be like, "Oh, they have 5 brands of tampons," the way Walgreens does. Like, you have to just
Yeah,
take what you can get, and that's the thing that's tough, in my
right.
opinion.
I need
Yeah,
to
first world problems.
yeah, exactly. We only get one brand. Um,
Ugh.
I really wanna venture into, like, the Diva Cup world, but I'm scared.
I know. It's like
I'm a married woman and I'm scared.
no. That's the thing. I don't like how, like, non-eco-friendly tampons
I
are.
know, and
That's the
plus,
hard thing.
having to find a bathroom everywhere you go, it'd be so nice just to, not have to worry about
True.
that. Yeah,
There's those, like, period undies that were the rage for a while, and I wonder
I
I
know, but
wonder.
ugh,
I
I get
know.
kinda grossed out by
I
it. Like, I know
know.
people like them, but, I don't know, man. Those girls who are like,
Mm.
"My period's just barely there." So I'm like,
Oh
"Okay, good for you."
god. You're like, "Must be nice." Yeah, the thi I don't like, I like the idea with a tampon that it's just really compact.
Yes.
Alright, I'm sorry for everyone that hates this conversation,
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
but, yeah, we can
Almost gonna
continue.
talk about pads. I'm like, "No, okay, we're getting cut off."
Girl, I was like, we're gonna, like, look at our statistics and
Just
just
gonna
see it all
drop.
drop at 2 minutes in.
Okay, so moving
Oh,
away from the tampon talk, how has your week been?
no. My week has been good. Trying to think if anything new has happened. I haven't even told Josie yet from Midwest Plants,
Yeah.
but the Hoya that she sent me finally put out new growth. I'm really
Oh
excited.
my gosh. Is it
It's
all
in
green too?
it's, like, so fresh that it hasn't solidified its color yet, you know what I
Okay.
mean? But I think so, I think.
Oh
It's like
my
a deep like, you know when, like,
god.
there's some new leaves, they come in, like, deep reddish brown?
Yes.
It's like that right now.
I bet you it'll be all green.
I think so. I mean, it's right in front of one of the lights in the greenhouse, so I'm curious to see what comes out, but it's going well. So that was just like my little
Oh,
excited planty update. I don't have
just
much.
the Macrophylla, Hoya macrophylla.
Yes, sorry, I didn't specify. Yeah, the reverted one that Josie sent me that I opened up on the podcast a few months ago. It's in your pink butt pot. Your beauty
Oh,
pot. It looks really cute,
yay.
and
Nice.
things are going well. That one as well. I think I mentioned on the last episode, my rotundiflora put out new growth. So my Hoyas are doing well. Everything else is not really.
Oh no.
Not everything. I think it's just, like, I haven't been successful in getting rid of some plants that are stressing me out, so I think when I see them, I focus on how bad they're doing as opposed to, like, how well some other stuff's doing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm just trying to stay positive. But I think I mentioned this last episode too, but my Mame put out another leaf, so I think she's at, like, 5 or 6 leaves
Yay.
now. So it's just been
Aw.
my favorites, like, those are doing well, so I'm just trying to stay focused. But yeah, it's been
Yeah.
good, it's been good.
Oh,
That my
awesome.
most exciting thing was seeing the macrophylla because 'cause I've been so busy that I haven't really focused on it. I've just been, like, hoping it's not dead, and then it put out new leaves. I think it has 3 new leaves. So I was like, "Oh,
It's always when you're
okay."
working, I feel like if I
It's
go
so
out of
much fun.
town and I come
Mhm.
back, I'm like, "Oh, so much new growth," and yeah, so
Literally, yeah. So that was exciting, that was good. So very small updates for me this week, but I'm really happy to see that it's growing and it likes the
that's
greenhouse. So we shall
amazing.
see. Yeah, how are
Aw.
you though?
I'm doing well. Sorry, as you can see, I'm still, clearing my throat, but
Holly
fe
got me sick, guys.
gave
Through the computer.
pretty much. Um, no, I'm doing great. So I'm really excited because I'm gearing up for my very first farmer's market with
That's
Shopaholic Botanical.
right.
So
Ah!
excited. It's gonna be like heavy in trays. I will have some smaller pots.
Okay.
But I'm so excited. I have
How
like
did Oh, go ahead.
oh no, no. Yeah, I have everything kind of set up and how I'm gonna display the booth and everything.
Oh my gosh, and how did this happen? Like, how did you, like, get involved with the farmer's market? I'm
Yeah,
sure
well,
many people would love to know.
yeah, well, funny enough, so I had been to this farmer's market once, and it's really big. There's a little bit of everything there. So pretty much, you guys know my friend Jen that I talk about. She's family; they live next door. She reached out and she was like, "Hey, we want to sell some things at this farmer's market, and I'm just gonna buy some booths, and I got you a booth." I'm like, "Oh my god, thank
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So she surprised
Yes.
you.
Yes, because I had been talking about it for so long, and, I don't know, it just because with life and everything, I just kind of had been
Yeah.
putting it off. So now I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna do it." So I'm
Ah,
so
so
excited.
exciting. So
Yes.
you're are you taking any of your do you have any of your old painted pots left, or is this all gonna be terrazzo?
It's all gonna be terrazzo. I mean, I do
Okay.
have a few, but I'm just focusing on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're doing that, and the way it works is you pretty much just pay for, like, a space, and then
Right.
you bring everything else. So we're bringing, like, the tables, the pop-ups. So some of the things that I've got recently are, like, a tablecloth that's, like, cinched at the bottom, and it's
Oh,
light pink
cute.
because on brand.
Oh,
And then I
cute.
just have like little risers and they're essentially dish racks, but it's like to display the trays
Right,
and it's
right.
bamboo, so it's like nicer and yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, so it's my first one. I'm
Oh
just
my
kind of like
gosh.
not really knowing what to expect, but I'm just really excited to go in this direction because
Right,
I think I've mentioned before when I moved, I took like a 3-month break from
right.
my shop was closed down and it's been a little slow to pick back up. So
Yeah,
I feel like this will be a good, like, I don't know, hopefully get things going and get things in
right.
motion a little bit more. So yeah.
Ooh, yay. Make sure you have change for
Oh,
big bills.
I know. I didn't even think about that.
'Cause
And I
yeah, a
it's
lot of people bring cash to those events because they think there's not gonna be card, and I don't know if you have a square to do card
Well, see,
or
I
to sell.
used to because one time when we were doing a big estate sale with Tyson's dad's house,
Yeah,
we did have that and it worked like 90% of the
I've
time, but
heard
there
it
was
has problems.
yeah, there's that like small percent that was like, this is not working.
Right,
So
right.
I got to figure it out. You know, like I said, it was not last minute, but definitely like I didn't obsess over all the planning details. So I'm like,
That's okay.
yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be fine. Something else I've seen at, like, markets and stuff is that people will have those little stands that hold up paper? You don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
to have it stand up, but you can even, like, just tape paper onto your booth. Some people will put, like, the Venmo symbol and their at, and then their
Yes.
Zelle name and then what it is. So you could just, like, write out your Zelle
Oh, that's
info and just
smart.
have it on display, and if they don't wanna do cash, they can send you money from their account, and you can confirm
Yes.
it.
That's true. I hope that the people who go are, like, technically inclined in that way.
That's the thing, if they're,
But
like, old people, it might be
there's
tough.
a
So just
lot
have some
like
change, like, I
snowbirds.
would yeah, just 'cause you never
Okay.
know. If you have time to go, I mean, I didn't do a farmer's market, but I think growing up with, like, church and stuff,
Mhm.
sales and things, and having to or even, like, with, like, school clubs and stuff, having to make change like, at least $50 in change, if not 100 in
Okay.
small bills, because people are gonna, like, give you a 20 a lot of times, I feel,
Yeah.
and it's like,
My elementary
"Ugh."
stuff is, like, getting anxiety. I'm like, "Huh?"
Oh, I'm so bad at numbers, like, if someone gets weird, I'm gonna be like, "Just round up for charity.
Oh my god, you know what? That's
I'm the
hilarious.
charity."
I'm the charity for me. No, but, like, our little cousin is coming too, and he's gonna sell some things that he's been like, some of
Aw.
his toys and stuff, and I was like, "You're gonna do so good." I'm like, "Do you know your dimes?" He's like, "Yep, yep." I'm like, "You are gonna do so good." And he goes, "Oh, I know I am." And I'm like, I need
Like,
that kind of energy."
I'm an entrepreneur, Holly.
This is so cute. "Oh, I know I am." I'm
How
like,
old is he?
"He is 7."
Aw,
Yeah.
how cute.
Like, love the confidence, bro.
Yeah,
Love
he's
it.
ready to work it. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, you're gonna do great, Holly, I'm
Oh,
excited for
thank
you.
you.
Well, you don't have to add tax, right?
So that was kind of like the thing. It's like if you are doing it as a business, then you need like a tax ID,
Mhm.
which, being in LA, I hadn't done yet because
I remember.
if you guys remember, like to get an LLC is a little bit pricey. So you can do like a registered business name. Anyways, it's a thing. So I haven't
Right.
done that quite yet. But with this place, because some people go and literally kind of treat it like a garage sale, it's like you can have the option of doing it like garage sale esque or as a business. So
Right.
because Jen is purchasing it, I think I'm under that umbrella of like, I'm just selling my crafts. But
Right, right. Cool, so
yeah,
it probably won't be like 8.75 a product, like, it'll be all even
I'm gonna
numbers.
try to do just even numbers, because
Yeah.
it's just easier. And
Yeah, for sure.
obviously, that has been my goal as a businesswoman to get more of my shit together. It's happening. Don't worry. Slowly
It's
but
gonna work
surely.
out, it's gonna work out.
Yes. But
Oh,
yeah,
I'm excited for you, when is it?
it is it's next Wednesday. So
Oh,
six
so
days
it'll
away.
be the day after this goes up.
Yes.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh, you have to update us. That's so
I
cool.
will.
And one more thing, sorry. Which
No.
town is it in case any listeners in Florida are avail?
So it is in DeLand, Florida, and it's at the like fairgrounds, I guess. It's called like DeLand Artisan Farmers Market or something like that.
Very
Oh yeah,
cool.
yeah. If you just Google like DeLand Farmers Market, it'll come up. So yeah, if you guys are in the area, come by and say hi.
That is so cool. Oh, I wish I could go. That's
I
awesome.
know.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah. So yep.
Oh, good. Well, I'm excited for you. I think it's gonna be really cool.
Thank you. I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
Good, 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 good. Well, Holly, what are we jumping into today?
I'm very excited about this topic. We're talking about all things like, how do we say, window direction? Like, what are
Lighting
lighting? Yes,
the sun.
the sun and windows in your house
Yes,
plants.
yes.
It's so funny.
Directions and why we need them.
Oh yes, whenever we would be apartment hunting, like especially in LA, I
Yeah.
would always have my compass out, and I'm like, which direction do these windows face?
I
And
remember.
it was like my first day. I'm like, south windows, yes. Like, oh, this is just a north window. Hmm.
Oh, what are we gonna do here?
But yeah, so we're just going to be talking about what they mean, the breakdown, and hopefully it'll be some helpful information for you guys.
Yeah, it's like the science behind how to utilize the windows in your house or
Yeah.
even like the direction of your patio or whatever, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the first one I want to talk about are Eastern windows. This
Uh-oh.
is literally my favorite kind of window. I do have two east. Well, no, let's see. Technically, through four Eastern windows, but they're all kind of small, you know. But I just
Mhm.
think they're so great. It's like an overall like great window for houseplants.
For
Um,
sure.
and it's nice because you can put them directly in front of the window in most cases. And I feel like it's just perfect. And that is because it's in the northern hemisphere, Easter morning light. So it's not going to be as like harsh rays as like at nighttime or like in the afternoon.
Right.
And yeah, I just really like it. Like by the afternoon time, it's definitely more of like indirect light and almost shaded.
Right.
But I just think it's really great. And some of the plants that are really good for this are like Hoya, begonia, anthurium, philodendron, pothos, all that.
Yeah.
But I really find that east windows just like really do the most for your plants because you're
For
able to give it
sure.
that direct light. Yeah, it's just really good.
About just like scorching your plant.
Yeah. Do you have any east windows?
I just as you were talking, I was like, "Huh," because I thought I had every direction, which I technically do, but I
Yeah.
just have one and it's small. It's like, you know how in my kitchen I have the back kitchen door has a window on it? That's
Mhm.
all I have for
Oh,
Eastern, but I
interesting.
have a lot of South, and then
Mhm.
I have mainly West. I guess I have
Got
the
it.
most. So, let's see, I have North is the one, like so the bedrooms have north windows, and
Yep.
that's where, like, my pothos and stuff face, and then I have in the office, so there's a north window, and then there's a western window, and then in the
Yep.
living room, I have 2 western windows, and then I have 2 southern windows in the kitchen, and then 1 eastern. So I get all
Mhm.
of them, I just oh, and then I have, southern windows in the bathroom too.
Yeah, that's
That's right, that's where
right.
the lipstick plant is. So I
Yes.
have every direction, but I just realized, wow, I only have a tiny eastern one. So, like, I open it during the day, but a few small things probably get that light. But overall,
That
oh,
makes
but
sense.
my outdoor plants, like my succulent garden's been really bad. A lot of stuff burnt this summer, and I haven't been able to
Yeah.
clean it up. But the little corners, when you exit my kitchen, remember on the right, I have some of my favorite
Mhm.
cacti.
It does.
Everyone is so happy, and they're the ones that get the eastern light, but then if you turn the corner, literally a, like, 90-degree angle, right,
Yes.
like, the pots are almost touching, burnt.
'Cause
It's
that's
so
the sun
crazy.
exposure.
Yeah, it's so crazy, but
Yeah.
overall, my eastern ones do the best. They're so happy, and I'm like, "Man, I wish I could just, like, move my house around." I just
Right? I know.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's really awesome that you have so many, like, directions. I
Yeah,
think
I
I have
feel
quite a
lucky.
few too, but it's so nice.
What do you have mainly?
So this window in my office is west. I'd
Okay,
say it's mostly west and east,
okay.
and I'll get into more of this. We'll get into more of this like in the episode. But I do have one southern window, but it is like always shaded, like the whole day.
Ooh, is that the
And
laundry room?
no, it's actually Tyson's office.
Oh, okay.
Because when we were kind of debating,
This
like,
went into how you guys chose, right?
he's like, well, I need this one. I'm like, but it's a south window. I've always wanted a south window. And we were told before we moved in, like, hey, it's southern exposure, but because of like the wood lines, like basically we have like woods right there, it's
Right.
literally always shaded. Whereas my western
Oh,
window gets a lot more light. Like, obviously the most in the afternoon when the sun set,
right.
but woo, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's mostly shaded. So
Mm.
yes.
So he ended up getting the south-facing room.
He did. That's the one he wanted anyways, and I'm like, "Okay,
Is it
well,
bigger?
it is bigger."
You're like, "I have big plants, you have nothing."
I know, and I told him, I'm like, "Okay, well, can I just put some plants in here?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course." But dude, it's very shaded in there. It's almost as if it's like a northern window. It's so
Oh, wow. So do
it's
you
so
have
crazy.
any plants in there still?
We do have like a cacti, that's like on the windowsill, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, yeah, so it's very just, like, dark. That makes
Exactly.
sense, yeah.
So, I kind of forgot where I was getting at. Yeah, eastern
We were
windows.
getting excited seeing what we each had.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so well, before we move on from Eastern windows, let's talk about what plants do best in Eastern light.
Absolutely. So, like I was saying, Hoya, I think
For
do
sure.
like so good because they
Oh
really
my god,
do
yeah.
want some like good light, like good sun rays. So I
Right.
feel like they kill it in Eastern windows. Begonia too, because
I didn't know that about begonia.
yeah, I feel like especially with cane begonias, like the spotted angel wing type.
Right.
I have one that's well, no, I guess I do have two cane begonias in an eastern window,
Ah.
and yeah, they do really good. And then I feel like your basic like aeroids, pothos, phylos, anthurium, like they do well because yeah, they just do well. um Oops, I can't hear you. I think you're still muted. No. Uh-oh.
I'm so stupid, guys. So okay, so I sneezed while Holly was talking, so I quickly went on mute on my mixer. And then I went right up right away, but I used the wrong track. Like I only have I have 4 I can have 4 microphones plugged in, obvious, and I'm on track 3.
Okay.
And not 1, I'm on 3 because that makes sense. And so I was bumping up track 4, which has no microphone plugged in, and I'm like, "How does she not
I
hear me?"
know. So, dude, I swear, I've been kind of muting myself when I can because I'm still coughing.
Yeah, guys,
And
we're
I'm
we're
like,
working hard on the back end,
I know, you
trying to
guys
make
don't
this
even know.
flawless.
But I thought about that happening. I'm like, what if I turn the wrong one on or something?
Dude, oh my god. Well, thankfully, I assume I would hear you, though that's I wonder though. Oh no, yeah, because we have our mixers tuned in with
Yeah.
StreamYard, so I would see that I couldn't hear you, but it's like
Yeah.
it's so terrifying the idea of like, oh god, we just talked for an hour and didn't
Oh
record it.
God, I know
Oh my
exactly.
god. I am for SIGF once we had 2 guests on. I think it was Patricia and Tim, which are a couple. Something got messed up with the audio and it
Oh
didn't
no.
record
The
or
whole
something
time?
for like a portion of it. We had to redo the recording. It sucked. I was like, "Oh," and of course it
That's
was a
so
great
hard
episode. Yeah, it's so annoying because you wanna make it genuine, but now you have to like repeat yourself, so it's just a
to
little
match the
weird.
energy and oh
Right, right.
man.
Like,
Okay,
come
well, good. That
on.
didn't happen to us today. We're good.
No, yeah, we are all good, guys. Knock on all the wood. So yes,
Nice.
please continue. We were talking begonias, the cane begonias.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they do really good. And then like aeroids too. So yeah, those
Mm,
are the ones that I like.
yeah.
Should we move on to Western
Yes, because
windows?
I can't wait for people to understand why your vote is Eastern, because I feel like
Yeah,
you would think that Western would be similar. So
totally.
what makes it not like an Eastern window then? Because I just assumed like, oh, they're gonna be, they're like adjacent to each other, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, the main thing is that it's the sun rays and just like weather is so much more intense in the afternoon. So, like
Yeah.
growing up in Phoenix, we always learn the hottest part of the day is actually the afternoon.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, yes.
Right? Yep, same with Tucson.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it makes sense though, and also if you think back, when you hear people say the coldest part of the morning is right at sunrise, which is east, so it's gonna be
Oh,
cooler and just
that
less
makes sense.
intense. So, like, it is shaded in the morning with western windows,
Yeah.
but in, like, the evening, it's so intense. So,
Right.
before we had these updated windows in our house, I had a bunch of Hoyas along the windowsill of our west windows,
Yeah.
and just imagine like no screens and like a very thin like single pane window, and
Right.
it all got burnt. And I'm like,
Oh,
how is it that like it's
wow.
only intense light for maybe like a few hours, but it's just that
Like,
intense and
magnified, like, the way
strong?
the sun reacted to the window.
Yes.
That's
So that's just
crazy.
something to keep in mind with Western windows. And
Yeah.
yeah, so if you are gonna have plants, in Western windows, I would suggest like pulling them back depending on the plant. Like unless it is a cacti, if you are gonna have like Hoyas, even like some sensitive succulents. You
Right,
know,
they can
like
still burn for sure.
yeah.
I guess that makes sense because the whole idea of, like, sun rises in the east, sets in the west. So
Yep.
if you're getting the bright, intense light in the morning for Eastern, like, it's literally just because of that. It's rising on that side, and then it's
Uh-huh.
setting on the west side, so it's getting really strong. That makes sense.
And one other
Wow.
thing that I had noted was like during different parts of the year, the sun is actually much lower. So in the winter,
Yes.
yeah, it's crazy. I remember like in my apartments, like in the wintertime, the lighting would actually be better only because it would actually like hit the window. Well, it would be in line, the sun would be in line with the window. So I'd get like sun rays all throughout my room and hitting all the plants that are further back. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I have great lighting. And then in summer, I'm like, wait, where did all the light go?
Oh, no.
So that's just something to keep in mind, and of course it's not on topic, but in the winter there's less amount of sun. So
Right,
anyways,
right. Just keep in
um
mind, yeah.
yeah, but the last thing about, you know, with Western windows is just like the plants that do well. I really feel like obviously cacti do the best, and then
I
hardy
agree.
succulents, hardy Hoyas too, and then ficus like fiddle leaf fig and rubber trees.
Ooh.
I think do pretty well. Of course, with ficus, they can burn,
Just
but
be careful.
yeah, typically they do want more light, just ficus in general.
Yeah.
But, like, I have, like, sheer curtains on my western windows, and that helps tremendously too.
Oh,
So
'cause it
either
filters.
yes, so either have, like, a screen if you're able to, like, have windows, with screens or, yeah, the filtered light with a curtain.
My fiddle leaf is I mean, it technically is closest to Western, but I use the grow lights because it's far away from the
Yeah,
window. But yeah, all my Western ones do pretty okay. Like I have my big monstera, I'm looking at it right
yeah,
now. I have a calathea, which surprisingly is doing okay. And
yeah.
then I guess that's pretty much it because my other Western window is near the greenhouse, so it doesn't really do anything for that. But
And it's
yeah,
so crazy, like, we could also do an episode on, like, placement of plants, but
for
I think
sure.
when it's just slightly below the window or just slightly off to the side, it definitely cuts down on, like, the light rays
For
hitting the plant.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, the
Sorry,
next
guys. Sorry I'm yawning. I'm not bored.
no, it's
It's like all the feelings, my congestion and
I
everything. It's not I want to be here, okay?
She's doing the most for this podcast.
Trying, trying.
You're good.
Oh,
Okay, next
man.
is northern windows.
Oh,
Now,
here we go.
northern windows and winders.
Nerder winders.
Northern windows. They're okay. Northern
They're not
windows.
impossible.
No, like,
Yeah.
it's basically northern windows are gonna be shaded throughout the day, like, there really isn't much that changes. Of course, if your window has some eastern exposure or western exposure, that can, like,
Right.
change, and so that's why it's, like, never say never with a northern window, but typically, I wouldn't put a Hoya or a cacti, like or
Right. I
cactus,
have a
rather.
pothos in front of my northerns, and it
Yeah.
survives. Don't
And I
know
was gonna
how.
say, yeah, the ones that do best, I feel like, are pothos, calathea, ZZs, and snake plants. When a
Right.
lot of times too with like ZZs and sansevieria, because they are quote, thrive in low light, people, even with a northern window, push them far back, which I'm guilty of doing the same, but I think you should really keep those in front of the window if you
For
want to.
sure. Right.
Now, that being said, with northern windows, I think there is some freedom there. And I used to tell you this a lot because in your
My
old
apartment was only northern windows except for
yes,
like my bathroom.
and understandably so, you were always very frustrated. But the one good thing
Right.
about northern windows is you really can style it like having a bunch of plants in a window type deal, and you don't have
For
to worry about
sure. They're
them
not
burning.
burning. Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's so many times with like my western windows. I mean, not so much with east, but definitely with west or south, whatever,
Yeah.
where I'm like, oh shit, like all the plants are burnt, or like I
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
move them for a little bit, and it's just kind of like a pain. But
Right.
with the northern window, you could stick a pothos directly in front, and it's like, oh, look at that
And
beautiful
it works
plant.
well. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So
It's
that I like.
it's a good like beginner's area sort of for
I think
plants, I think.
so,
And it yeah.
especially with like easygoing slash low light tolerant plants.
Right.
I think they do great.
And you can
And
play
yeah,
with like a little tiny accent grow light if you can make it like put it on like a lamp, like at a like a bulb and put it in a cute lamp and then you can
yes.
style it that way and if you don't really realize it's a grow light
Yeah.
and it's helping those corners as well if you need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I this is probably not going to be very helpful because I can't remember the name, but I recently came across a grow light that is warm toned, and it but yet it's a grow
Ooh.
light. Typically, I think you guys know grow lights just kind of look a little blah,
Right.
like daylight, like very cool tone, like
Yeah.
it's not quite fluorescent, but it's just not cute. So unless of course you go with like Soltech solutions, but a lot of us can't afford Soltech solutions. But this
Right.
one is $30 and it's one light bulb. So you can put it any light fixture that you want. Like you can just use like a regular lamp and put it in there. I'm gonna have to double check and maybe we can put it in the show notes or something, but
Yeah, let me know.
it's
Where
really
where can you
cool.
buy it from? Do you remember?
I believe it's Amazon, and I want to say Branaconda, aka Brandon, did
Ah!
a review on it on his TikTok. So if you
Oh,
scroll down a little
perfect.
bit, I think you should find it. So
Oh, awesome. That's great.
it just kind of reminded me when you said you could also add a grow light in a northern window. That'd be perfect.
Definitely. Just 'cause, like, it adds so much, like, potential and opportunity, you know? Well, you can so you don't have to, like, give up
Yes.
all these cute corners of your northern side of your house.
Well,
Like,
even
there is options.
yes, even with I have western windows in our bedroom, and I'm
Mhm.
really thinking of adding a grow light in the corner because that's where I have like my little thrifted shelf.
Yes.
Like, I just feel like they are leaning, like, I can see some of the leaves kinda leaning more towards the window, so
Right,
I think they
definitely.
could benefit from a grow light.
Let us know if you do it. I think that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
totally.
Awesome.
Oh
Ooh.
boy, here we go. Southern windows.
Oh god.
I
The
think
dou
these
the
are the
double-edged
most
sword.
it's crazy, yes, because a
Yep.
lot of people, I think this is the most, like, envied window for them, um,
Right.
and they are shaded in the morning, but this is the one that gets, like, very intense afternoon
Mhm.
light until evening, like, it basically until the sun goes
Hot.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, or well, maybe, like, right at sunset, it's not getting direct anymore, but it's just so, so intense, and it's
Strong.
funny because when I first was learning about, like, directions of windows and stuff, I'm like, "Really? Like, south? Like, how is that so intense?" But I think it's just
Right.
because it's kind of getting everything. It's getting, like, a little bit of that morning light, and then it's getting the afternoon, yeah, it's just, like, very intense light.
A
So
lot of it. Yeah.
I think most plants, if you have a lot of a lot of southern windows, you're gonna probably want to pull them back or definitely incorporate like shades. Um,
Right.
but I think these windows, I keep on trying to say lights, these windows are really good for plant rooms. So Becca de la Plants in her plant room, she's mentioned that she has mostly southern windows, and it's cool because she's able to basically style the whole room with plants further back. So let's just say you have a room with a huge southern windows,
Yeah,
and then along the very back corners where it is more, I'd say, where there's available space for plants, you could still put them there and they will get a lot of that residual southern light,
for
even up to
sure.
like I'd say like 4, 5, 6 feet. They're still going to benefit.
Wow. Right.
And that's honestly like why I think it's so desired because like there are so many, even my plants in my office, I
Right.
feel like they're just not getting enough light from my tiny western window and they're pulled
Right.
back, you know? So if it was a southern window where it's just really coming in,
Mhm.
and longer amounts of light in general, that is definitely like good.
That's the thing we need.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
I yes, I like Southern. Of course, I'm like, thank God I have it. Like, I'd rather have it than not. But it's interesting. Like, I don't see it very helpful in my bathroom. I think because the window's small and there's like a little, you know how like some roofs they like hang over a little
Yes.
bit? 'Cause I just feel like it's really dark, and I think, like, too, with, like, me or Josh forgetting to, like, keep the curtain open for the shower, I just
Yeah.
like, I have grow lights in the bathroom despite it being southern, but I have stuff that doesn't
Yeah.
die, so it's like they're doing okay in there, but the southern in my kitchen does quite well. All my hanging plants have this southern window.
Yes, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and even the ones that are high up, they, like, droop sometimes, but overall, they're doing great, but then it burnt everything outside for me, so it's like it's very hit or miss, and I moved some string of pearls indoors, like, I started having string of pearls indoors, like, a year ago,
Right.
and mine got really, like I think I, like, forgot to water it, and so I had to repropagate, so I'm repropagating my string of pearls right now.
Right.
Again, once a year, I have to restart,
Reset,
but
reset
but I
button.
am yeah, but I was like, "Man," like, it was that cute you know how when you and I bought pots in Torrance, we got the ones that looked a little
Mhm.
they got burnt in the kiln?
Yes,
And they
I
looked like they were,
love
like,
that.
drooping. By
Yes.
the way, I think someone stole one of mine.
What?
Can you remind me? I bought the little one, which I have my string of pearls in, but I bought
Uh-huh.
a bigger one too, didn't I?
I know I bought a bigger one.
Oh, you di I thought I did too, and it was just, like, not in my
Yeah,
yard, like, a week or 2 after we
dude.
went.
And
But
you didn't put
maybe
it
I'm
under
making
your
it up.
bench? Did you put it under your
No,
bench?
it's not
No?
in my bench, yeah.
Weird.
But then it's like, maybe I'm making this up. Maybe I did just buy the small one because I know I was on a budget, but either
Maybe.
way
Yeah. Oh,
I hope because it's like, why would someone steal it? Like, and nothing else is stolen, you know what I mean? It's just
ugh,
weird.
I mean, we live in a crazy world.
Right,
People
well, I had someone around that time from Buy Nothing come to pick up some pots.
Uh-oh.
So it's like someone was in my yard that doesn't live here.
Uh-oh.
So there is that feeling of like, "Hmm." But anyway, sorry guys. I just got a super sleuth or whatever, but that pot, like, I had to propagate, and I was like, "Now the pot's all alone hanging above my sink, and it looks lame."
Hmm.
So, I was on one of the plant groups online, and a guy that lives local, like, he's in North Hollywood, was selling some stuff, including his string of pearls, for $5 in a 4-inch pot, and it was
That's
trailing, like,
good.
this much, like, almost a foot. I
Nice.
was like, "Okay." It's, so I have that in its place. It has, like, a the trails go, like, left and right, but the middle doesn't have a trail, so my
Oh,
hope is
got it.
when mine root again, I wanna fill out that middle
There you
spot.
go.
But he had it, I think, getting South Light Outdoors. It was a very plump, fat string of pearls.
Oh, did it have some shade? Cause like, mine freaking burnt. I was gonna
I
tell you,
remember you
I'm
told me
so
a big
sad and so
one.
beautiful.
Do
Anyways.
you have any of it left?
Yeah, but it's not looking good, dude. It's like,
Have you propagated or you just left it?
I've left it because 'cause I'm like, "Maybe I'll just buy a new one."
Send me all the cuttings.
I have nowhere to put it. That's why I got burnt in the first place.
I
So,
understand. It got burnt here, didn't it?
no, it got burnt in Florida.
Oh, no, that's right,
The
the
sun
top,
is
right?
no fucking joke in Florida. Like,
Insane,
oh
dude.
my god.
I can't even imagine because here I feel like it gets intense, especially with and there's Arizona too, but, I was gonna say with this one, I've been like, "Oh my god, is it gonna survive indoors? Is it gonna acclimate?"
Yeah.
Because his was like, you know, like when they're lighter green because they get so much sun? That's
Mhm,
what it was like.
mhm. Interesting.
Um,
So how'd it
but I
do?
I'm looking at it right now, so far it's okay. It's still pretty plump, and I've watered it since, but I, like, just water it very sparingly, but I have it in front of a southern window, but it's, like, 6 inches from the window, and it's filtered,
Yeah.
so I'm just hoping that's, like, close enough, you know?
You know, it's true. With string of pearls specifically, I think if they're outdoors, we've talked about this on the
Yeah,
podcast before, but when they're outdoors, they definitely need shade, like bright shade, but
right.
indoors, you can do like in front of a window. It's
They could do
so
it's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I think they when they're treated well outdoors, they look so amazing and
Oh
they
my
get
god,
so
and they do
big.
well, they do well.
Well, that's a good point. We were talking about Northern Light. At my old place is where my original string of pearls really flourished, and
That's right.
it blew up.
Outdoors.
It blew up outdoors in Northern Light. So to
I
give you any
remember.
idea, I think string of pearls definitely need that shaded element, but like consistent heat, if that makes sense.
It's that ambient light for all day, I think,
Yes, I
you
agree. I
know?
think that's what it is. Yeah.
They will get burned, so
Yes.
it's a thing.
Yes. I'm sorry though, I went on a bit of a tangent, but,
No, 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 I think it's
for
very
sure.
educational.
For sure, just 'cause, like, you don't know, you know? It's one of
Yeah.
those things. What are some of the plants you think do best in southern windows?
For me, I think it's cacti, and this is talking about directly in front of,
Right.
cacti and even some ficus.
Really? Ficus too?
I think so. Like,
Okay.
of course, they can burn if they're outdoors. It's somewhat again like the string of pearls because I had a variegated rubber tree back in LA and
Oh, yeah.
it got burnt on one of our heat waves. So, but
Oh,
indoors, like, because I had it since the time I lived in LA, I'm sorry,
yeah.
downtown.
Downtown, yeah.
And it was always kind of dropping leaves and never really flourishing because I did have a southeast big window, but it just
Oh,
wasn't quite
yes.
enough. So then when I
Huh.
put it outside, it was flourishing, it was doing great. But then again, with our heat waves and with the
You never
sun
know.
during the summer, the way it was, the earth was rotating, it was just getting really intense direct
Really
light.
specific,
Yeah,
yeah. When
my
the earth
toddler
was rotating, this happened to my
you
plant.
rotate a little bit more so my ficus can get shade. Jeez,
Hurry up, earth, come on.
not too much to ask.
Oh, that's so funny.
But
Oh
yeah,
my god.
no. So hope that answered the question.
Yes,
But I
it
feel like cacti
100% did.
and ficus and maybe some ripsalis. But again, they remind me somewhat of Hoya, where like they can burn. You just have to be careful.
For sure.
Anything that sun stress as well could do well in a southern window. But I don't
Really
want to say
true.
all of it because I've had like a Hoya sunrise, for example, the kind that turn red. I've had those get sunburned. So it,
Really?
there's never like a black and white answer. I feel like
Yeah.
like um there's always like conditions and always like
Right. I
things.
feel like with Southern, when in doubt, at least like a foot away.
I
Like, I
think
think
so
if maybe
too.
let's say you move into a new home and you're like, "Oh my god, I have southern windows for the first time." Maybe gradually get your plant closer to the window. Don't, like, just set it there, especially if it was used to northern or any other
Yes.
direction. Maybe just start farther back, and then you can start as it acclimates, maybe you can bring it closer and see how it reacts. But I think doing what Holly said, like, from the jump, have something to filter it, whether it's blinds, a
Yeah.
thin curtain, or something. Like, I think be wary if it's you just have a straight up window, no screens or anything, and you just put something there. I think that is dangerous.
Yeah, no, you're right, Angelique. I've heard a lot of houseplant experts say that same thing where you want to slowly acclimate, same as if you
Right,
want to start growing something outdoors, like leave it outside for a couple hours and bring it back in, and then a
right,
couple hours longer the next day. Another
right.
thing that I think might help, like you were saying, Angelique, let's just say you move into a house with southern windows and you want to put a plant right in front of it. If
Mhm.
you are gonna go that route, I really think if you do have, like, that really big statement fiddle leaf fig, some sort of
Yeah,
tree or ficus or cactus that's very established. Like, I feel like
needs to be big. I
yeah,
agree.
baby plants, they're babies. They need a little
Yeah,
bit more
easier.
yeah, they need
Yeah,
more sunblock, whereas, like,
yes,
full-on adults can probably handle a little bit more sun.
100%. Like, I feel like I've that's what I've learned is that even if it costs more money, I'm getting to the point where I'd rather save money and get a bigger plant that I really want as opposed to
Mhm.
smaller. It's fun having tiny plants, but you have to know that they're hardy because I've lost too many plants that are immature because, like,
Absolutely.
I make mistakes, so it's like I just feel like bigger plants are more forgiving. Like, even my fiddle leaf fig, I bought it as a rehab, but the girl had rehabbed it a lot from when she got it. So
Yeah.
it was on the up and up. I left it outside one day when I was when it was draining and it burnt like crazy, but it's still doing great. Like I'm still getting new growth and things like that. And I just feel like what you were saying, these bigger trees and stuff are just so much more willing to keep trying, you know?
Yeah. They have a
Yeah,
thicker skin.
literally. Yeah. It's so, yeah, it's crazy.
It is. Oh man. Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of what we were speaking on. I think it's like if you do have these directions, like keep things in mind. Like there are a lot of things that factor in versus just I have a southern window. You know, you could have a tree blocking or a
Right.
building blocking, or
Right.
you could also have a slightly different exposure. You know, sometimes windows aren't just southern. Sometimes they're
Right.
southeast or southwest or northeast and whatever.
Right.
So I would say keep that compass app on your iPhone
Handy.
handy. And if you're an Android user, buy an old.
Figure it out. Buy an old iPhone.
They're
Don't get
probably
a
like,
compass.
Android users are like, we have compasses too, you
You're
assholes.
like, don't think you do.
No.
What are those windows called again? I love them when it's like the middle panel and then side and they go in a little. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
is it bay windows?
Bay windows. If anyone has a
Mm-hmm.
bay window, I'm so jealous of you.
Dude.
And those are fun because what if you have a bay window that's primarily south, but then its little side windows are east and west? Like I just think that's
Well,
so
it's
fun.
funny you say that. When I was still living, the last house I was living in with my parents, I had a huge bay window that was south facing. And this was before I was in plants, but I
Ooh.
just loved the because I picked the smaller room with me and my sister. She had the bigger room, but mine had a southern window and it was a bay window. And I'm like, I
Oh,
love this. And yeah,
they're so amazing. Like
so
that's a goal
pretty.
for me is to have a huge bay window in like my
Yeah,
forever home. I just want big windows, period. Like I want
me
a
too.
wall where floor to ceiling is the window.
Oh my gosh. Do
It's
you remember
so
my
pretty.
windows in Eagle Rock?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
I
Holly had floor to
know.
ceiling windows
I
in
did.
her apartment.
Oh man. I
It was a
also
good
love
time.
it was a great time. I also love box windows. There are a lot of
Oh
them are
yes.
in older homes. Funny enough, like and I was thinking about this today when I was watching a TikTok.
Yeah.
Those box windows I think were primarily popular, I want to say in the 60s,
Yeah, they're
70s,
beautiful. Yeah, I'm into these
when
too.
houseplants had their original first boom. Like remember how
Right.
houseplants were really popular in the 70s? I'm like, I wonder
Yes.
if that's why they had so many of these box windows.
Because
And
it
if
was kind of like displays
yeah,
for
and
plants.
it's
Yeah.
really funny whenever I see like a grandma house with a box window and they're displaying like teacups and shit. I'm like,
Figurines.
Grandma, you need to put some
That's
plants
not
in
what it's for.
there.
What are
Exactly.
you doing?
What a waste of a box window. I think that's what they're called. If they're not called that, I'm sorry.
I just looked it up and a lot of them came up. There's some that I've seen that are like hybrids between bay windows and box windows, which are really
Oh
cool.
my god, how amazing.
Yeah, Josh's old place when he lived with my best friend Autumn, they didn't have a cool window, but because it was a small complex, I think there was like 6 units. But if
Yeah,
you were one of the 2 units that faced the street, they had big bay window. They had sorry, it was like box. It was hard. It was like bay windows, like they had
yeah,
the side panels, but
yeah.
they stuck out a lot and there was shelving in it. So there was
Oh,
like 2 levels. It was really
oh
cool.
my god, that makes my
Yeah, it was
heart like
it was an old building too. Yeah, it was beautiful.
I love old buildings, like, it's just things with character,
For
and
sure.
funny enough, I discovered on TikTok, of course, where I discover everything, this, new home builder, I'll have to look it up for you guys, I mean, maybe you're not interested, but they are a new like, they make new builds, but they look vintage, like, it looks like you bought
Cool.
a house that was 100 years old and fixed it up, but they're new.
Wow, that's so
I
cool.
and
Yeah,
it's
I'd
in
like to know about it.
and they're in North Carolina, I'm like, "I guess I wanna live in North Carolina
That's
'cause
where I'm going. That's
it's
the thing that sucks, like,
beautiful."
the thought of building a house for ourselves, for, like for myself or whatever, it's
Yeah,
like I'd have to go, like, Midwest and, like, find a bunch of land, and it's like and it would be so cheap, I'm sure, and it's just like,
I know.
I
Well,
want to be able to go to the Hollywood Bowl whenever I want.
I want to
I
do
haven't
things.
I haven't taken Josh yet. He's never been to the bowl, but like, okay, guys, tourist moment. If you ever get to come to LA, the Hollywood Bowl, they do tons of concerts for artists and things, but they'll also do screenings of big movies with the
Yeah.
LA Symphony Orchestra playing the soundtracks live, like the
Oh my
instrumentals.
gosh.
They
My
did
friend. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna
God,
go
I'm so rude.
no, it's okay. Last week they did Nightmare Before Christmas with what's the name of the guy who's from that old band? He sings Jack's lines in the movie. So
Oh.
he's the singing voice of Jack, and he did the show live singing
Oh
all the
my
songs, and Billie Eilish
gosh.
sang for Sally. Yeah,
She's
it was
there? Oh.
yeah, she played Sally, like,
Oh
she did all those singing
my
bits. It was
god.
crazy, yeah.
Well, I was gonna
Oh, was that your
say
friend? Yeah.
my friend went to one where it was, Prince of Egypt, and they did all the music, and he said it was
That's
cool.
cool. Oh
Yeah.
my god,
I've
I
always
wanted to
wanted to
take
do that.
me too. I wanna take Josh to a Princess Bride one.
Oh, how fun. The
Yeah.
cool thing about the bowl is that because they don't obviously it's not like a regular concert vendor or like it's not like you go to a Dodger game where you can buy food, but they encourage you to bring your own like snacks. So people will bring
And
like
wine and stuff, you can bring
bottles of
alcohol.
wine and like charcuterie boards. I'm like, "Oh, how
Yeah,
fun." It also
I like it.
reminds Yeah, it kinda reminds me of, Before It Burnt, Malibu Wines. It was kinda like that.
I've never been, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh, that was fun.
It's it's crazy,
Another
yeah.
moment. I think they
Um
did reopen, but yeah.
They did, from what I heard, they did. Um, but another thing, someone told me with the bowl, it's always like you can bring your own food and your own drinks, alcohol's fine, unless they just so you guys know, unless they bring someone big, like if Harry Styles performs at the bowl,
Mhm.
he has contracts and sponsorships with so many vendors, so that food would be provided and you couldn't
That's
bring your
cool.
own. Yeah, but if it's like a smaller thing, like what Holly was talking about, usually you can bring your own stuff unless it's like this crazy big star or whatever. So,
Yeah,
gotta check your tickets, but
yeah. Well, so
oh, but
it's
it's so
either like, yeah, we can go to the bowl or live in an apartment, or you can have a
I
big
could have a mansion for $2 a month in, like,
It's all
Oklahoma.
about, like, where you are in life because
Yep.
yeah, I still love I don't know. Well, I don't think I'll ever be at the point where I wanna live in the middle of nowhere. I still wanna live in a city,
Right, right. Well, because right
but,
now you're living very rural, right?
it's more rural, yes.
Yeah,
It's
but you're
not
not far from Orlando.
No, and we have, like, Target, we have, things. It's just
Right,
it's a lot smaller, so it's
right.
a culture shock for sure,
Coming from
but
LA, yeah.
yeah, well,
It's
and because 'cause I've
crazy.
always lived in big towns, before that, I
Phoenix,
lived in Phoenix, which is
right.
big, like,
Oh, yeah.
no, it's different.
An adjustment for
Yeah,
sure. Was
yeah.
Tyson born in Phoenix?
He, funny enough, was born in Massachusetts,
Oh, but he grew up where?
in Phoenix, so
Okay, gotcha.
yeah,
So you
he's
guys have,
never
like, the
really
same upbringing.
yeah, he's only been there since he was, like, born, and then I think when he was 2 is when they moved to Phoenix, so he's like,
Got
"Yeah,
it.
I'm not
He
gonna
doesn't
say I'm from
remember.
Boston," but, like,
Yeah,
it's just kinda random.
barely from Boston.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely different, like, I don't know. Yeah, future problems, guys, but I'm just like, I don't
Exactly.
wanna live in a small house forever, so
I know.
we shall see. I look on Zillow for fun in Burbank to see if I can find anything for under 1,000,000. I
Yeah.
did, but apparently because, like, Burbank is such an old part of LA that, when the studios and everything came to Los Angeles, started building in Burbank, everything was so bungalow style, and even all these single family homes, like, it'll be a 3-bedroom with just 1 bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
annoying,
know.
and, like,
It's crazy.
they keep renovating these homes, and now they're going for 1,000,000, but no one ever added a bathroom, and,
And
like,
that's
the
so
it's so
crazy to me.
annoying.
Like, I remember we had some friends, that we worked with, he and his wife had 1 kid, but
Yeah.
they lived in the same house forever, and they only had 1 bathroom. I'm like, "Dude,"
Oh,
like, he's like, "Yep."
exhausting.
He's like, "Me and my son will, like, take a piss outside if it's occupied." Like
Yeah, it's crazy. The little girl I'm taking care of here in Burbank, her parents bought the house a year ago,
Uh-huh.
and I checked on Zillow because I had to know. I was like, "Let me see," because 'cause they're pretty, like they're not, like, insane rich people, or they're, like, very normal, average
Yeah.
people, The backyard is to die for. It's so big, and it has
Oh,
it came with a shed, but the house itself is so small. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. There's a third like, the last owners, they added, like, the sunroom, like an Arizona room, you know?
right, right,
So you can say that's a 3rd room, but there's, like, no door. It's just, like, a walkway, then you get into this so it's like an extra living room, truly.
got
I
it.
don't think it's a bedroom. So it's a
Right.
2-bedroom, 1 bath, and the parents' room isn't a master. It's, like, the same size.
That's
So
a common thing.
yeah, and it's like, they're lucky that theirs had central AC, 'cause a lot of the ones I was finding were 1 bathroom and no central AC,
Yeah,
'cause
before,
it's
like,
so
global
old.
warming, people used to just open a window in the summer and they'd be fine,
It
but
was
now
fine,
you
now
can't
we're
do that
dying.
anymore, yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I just, like they have potential, like, if they wanted to build a guest house, they'd have room, and if they wanted to add a bathroom or extend their bedroom, I think they could. It's just, of course, that's so much money, and that would put them
Yeah.
over 1,000,000, I think.
You know what I love about LA homes is typically, like, with your traditional, like, cutesy single family home in LA, the
Yeah.
garage is usually pushed to the
A
backyard and
separate building.
yes, and that looks really cute just for, like, the front home, it looks so traditional, but what a
Yes.
lot of people do is they actually redo the garage and either turn it into, like, a gym or an office.
Or studio.
Yeah, or a studio, and I just think that's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
I love that, and it's a great way that people can pay off their mortgage. They just always have someone living in their garage
Yeah.
or whatever.
That's
Yeah, so
true, you could Airbnb it out or
but
something
I would
like
want
that.
it for me. I'd wanna make it like my plant room.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
selfish, it's mine.
Yeah, that's just mine. Oh, well, I hope this episode helped you guys. If you have any other questions about lighting, just shoot us a DM. You know, it's just figure it out. Just know
Yeah,
north is dark and south is really bright and
there's
go
always
from there.
there's always exceptions to
Yes,
every
of
window.
course. Well, Holly, where can the people find you on the socials?
You guys can find me at Concrete Botanical underscore on Instagram, at Concrete Botanical on TikTok, and then we have Shop Concrete Botanical on the socials and concretebotanical.com for my shop.
Awesome. And you guys can catch me at Sucker for Plantas, and you can catch the Bootcast,
Booty.
the podcast at Boozy Botanical Podcast on Instagram. We drop new episodes every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and YouTube for video. And if you guys have any questions or just want to chat, you can shoot us a DM or email us at boozybotanicalpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, and please give us a 5-star rate and review. We would love you forever.
Yes, on Apple Podcasts, please and thank you.
Yay. Well, thank you guys for another Boozy Tuesday. We
Yes,
love
this was
you.
fun. We love you. And on that note,
Cheers.
cheers.
Yay.
Awesome. Look at us, right at an hour.
We did it.
Especially because, like,